Hey everyone, Dr. Melissa here. On this week's Thrive in 5, I want to talk about numbness and tingling in your hands. Now this is something that people who have all kinds of work and hobbies sometimes will come into contact with. The feeling of pins and needles in your fingers, and sometimes pain and discomfort. Sometimes they feel cold, sometimes you'll only feel them in some fingers and not other fingers. And you know, the catch-all phrase that everyone says is, oh, you must have carpal tunnel syndrome. Now, carpal tunnel syndrome is one specific condition that can certainly happen. It is when the area in this part of your wrist here becomes really inflamed. The tendons going through that area become irritated. You will certainly get numbness and tingling in your hands, pain, and some other symptoms that come along with it. Sometimes though, however, it's not anything to do with the carpal tunnel, but it has to do with either joints in your neck that are not moving properly, or even the muscles in your forearm. So let's talk about the first issue. Your forearm has tons of muscles that allow you to do all kinds of things with your arm. The biggest one, or one of them rather, is your pronator muscle. So that's this muscle right through here. And what your pronator muscle allows you to do is, when you have your hand like this, it allows you, when it contracts, it allows you to turn your hand the other way. So it allows us to do this motion, and another set of muscles allows you to turn your hand the other way. Now, this group of muscles here, your pronator muscles, has nerves that go through it, that go around it, and if this muscle group here gets really, really tight, it will cause some similar types of symptoms, numbness and tingling in your hands. So sometimes it's nothing to do with carpal tunnel, but it's a muscle entrapment syndrome that can happen up here. So one way you can take a look and check yourself is certainly start to feel. If you're dealing with numbness and tingling in your hands, feel this area on your arms. And if you have some knots and muscle tension and inflammation, you're going to know very, very quickly. If that's the case, then what you can try doing to give yourself some relief is using something like a tennis ball or another type of mobility ball. You can check out the other videos I've posted in here that have, baseball balls you can use, and you can certainly use more specific types of mobility tools to sort of loosen the area and gently massage the area to give yourself some relief. Once these muscles in your pronators here are looser, then that's going to lessen the stress on the nerve and the circulation going down to your wrists and to your fingers. And oftentimes the symptoms of numbness and tingling are just going to go away just like that. Now, the second thing that I mentioned was sometimes people will have numbness and tingling in their hands that is not coming from the wrist joint or the elbow joint or any of the muscles in the arm, but rather it's coming from points in the neck. Now, you have a beautiful curve that you should have in your neck. Joints in your neck need to be moving individually on their own. You need to have good range of motion, which we've talked about in other videos. But what can sometimes happen is if these joints in the lower part of the neck are not moving properly and you start to have stiffness in those muscles, then you can get entrapment of the nerves that go down your arm, including the nerves that go all the way down to your fingers. So sometimes numbness and tingling in your hands has nothing to do with your wrists or your finger joints or your elbow, like I said, but it actually has to do with the joints in your neck. So in that case, I would certainly recommend that you talk to your chiropractor and see if there is a connection with what you might be dealing with in your neck and what's going on in your hands. So that's it today. I hope this helped you. If you are dealing with numbness and tingling in your hands, be sure to talk to your chiropractor first. You may save yourself unnecessary long-term pain and discomfort and possibly other more risky and serious interventions. And oftentimes some simple relief you'll find yourself either at your chiropractor or with some of these massage techniques you can do yourself. Hope this helps you. See you soon.